been a lot of talk about an upcoming recession, and depending on who you talk to, some people might even say we're currently in a recession now, especially with the markets going down and the feds have even increased interest rates. Let's not even talk about the cost of rent and food. I mean, what are we to do? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about 3 tips on how to prepare for a recession. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, I'm Tasha from the Major Change Group, where we believe small changes can create big results. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome. We talk about how to get your money straight, how to increase your credit score, and how to use your credit card like a debit card. With all of the talks of an upcoming recession and how the cost of living has increased, I think this is the best time for us to take a look at our finances and see how we can prepare. So I'm going to give 3 tips on how we can prepare for a recession. And the first tip is going to be create a budget. Y'all already know I was going to say create a budget. We want to know how much money do we have coming in compared to how much money do we have going out. Then we want to know how much money do we have left over. This is going to be a good time for us to see, what are those categories that we're possibly overspending in. And y'all already know I'm going to say food is where I be. Well, I'm not going to say necessarily overspending, but food is going to be my highest expense because y'all know I like to go out to eat. And I'm going to tell y'all, the other day I had went out to eat and I was talking to my mom on the phone. So I had went to this restaurant to get a wrap and they had already increased the prices maybe like a couple of months ago. So then when I was paying, he was saying, okay, we have increased our prices again. And so I had went ahead and paid, and I was in the car and I was talking to my mom and I was like, well, I got this wrap and it cost $20. And when I said that, I was like, dang, this wrap cost $20. And then I went to Walgreens and I got me some chips and a drink and that was like $26. So I'm like, whoa, I'm spending $26 one time for food. I mean, usually I'll have some for that day and the next day, but y'all, I'll be doing that maybe like 2 or 3 times a week. And then I'll be going out to eat other places. So I'm like, during this time, this will be a good time for me to say, okay, do I need to possibly cook at home, especially for lunch, so that I don't have to go out, because that's going to be a time saver. Plus, that's going to be a money saver. And then, like on the weekends or maybe, for dinner, I could possibly go out. But I would say this is the time for us to really take a look to see, okay, do we possibly need to cut back on some things? And I would say maybe like a 1.5 if we look at our budget and see, well, maybe we're not bringing in as much money as we probably should. Is this a time for us to get a part-time job? With the holidays coming in, there are a lot of jobs out there. Or maybe this is a time that you want to create a side hustle. This is the best time for us to make sure that we're current on our housing, our utilities, our transportation, and then that we have enough for food, especially, since the winter is coming up and you know how those electricity bills might be going up. So this is where we kind of want to save. Now, this is going to take me into tip number 2, saving for a rainy day. Now, we always want to make sure we have a little cushion just in case those unexpected things come up. And you can start wherever you can. So if that's starting at $500, $1,000, 1 month of expenses, 3 to 6 months of expenses, or even a year of expenses. This just helps us to where, especially, with food and gas increasing, where we don't have to necessarily use our credit cards all the time. Because I was reading an article where we're saying, with inflation going up and, food and stuff going up, a lot of people are using their credit cards. And especially with those interest rates going up, the average interest rate probably is like 22% right now. So this is not the time for us to really be having credit card debt. So having that rainy day fund, where we can go to get some money and things go on, this is going to be the best time to do that. The third thing is to pay down debt. Now, we have already done our budget, so we know how much money we have coming in compared to how much money we have going out, and then what's left over. So this is a time for us to sit down and write out what debt do we have. So we want to write the actual amount that we have in debt for each creditor, how much is our interest rate, and then how much is our minimum payment. This is going to give us an idea of where we're starting at. And then we can create a snowball. Now, you can do a snowball or avalanche, but let's say if you're going to create a snowball, you're going to write down the lowest minimum payment all the way down to the highest, and then see how much money you have left over, and then possibly put some extra towards that, and then just pay down the debt. and just keep going and going and going. This is going to create those quick wins compared to if we do the avalanche, where we're going to be tackling the highest interest rate. But you have to do what's best for you, because especially with those interest rates being 22%, I mean, if you're just making a minimum payment on things, that's just going to eat it all up, and it's going to take about 50 years to pay off that credit card debt. Now, let's say if you have credit card debt, one tip you can do is possibly see about transferring that credit card debt over to a 0% interest credit card. Or if you're wanting to open up a credit card, open up that 0% interest credit card to where sometime they'll have between 12 and 14 months of 0% interest. Currently, right now, I have 2 credit cards like that. So I have the American Express Everyday Credit Card, to where I had 0% interest for 12 months, and that's coming to an end in December. But that credit card, I pay that off every month, or maybe I might leave like 2 or 7% on that credit card, because y'all know I like to do the credit card utilization hack. But then I also have my business credit card, and that's an American Express Blue Business Cash. Now I do have a little bit on that, but the one good thing is that that's not going to be reporting on my personal credit card utilization. And so I'm good on that. But it's always good to have a 0% interest credit card. That way you're not, accruing all that interest, and then you can just go ahead and you can be paying it down a whole lot quicker than if you had like 16 or 22%. Well, I hope that this video has been helpful. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, turn your notification bell on so you'll be notified when new content drops. I thank you so much for watching. Until next time.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.